Well, it's a lovely day in July 2014, and I'm sat outside in nature, and I thought I'd do another video about depression. I know it's a real problem with a lot of people throughout the world. It's not just, it's literally everywhere. People have always had problems for thousands of years. We all deal with things differently. I mean, how many of us just wish we could pick up the phone, speak to our younger selves, what would we say if we could speak to ourselves when we were younger, tell us not to make those decisions, not to stay in that relationship, or maybe you actually wanted to stay in the relationship, maybe you shouldn't have taken those drugs. So what would you say? What would you say if you could pick up the phone and talk to yourself? What advice would you give? And would you listen? Would you listen to your advice? If you could go back 20 years and phone yourself, what would you tell yourself? But we can't go back, we can't go back. And so whatever the problem is, whatever is causing your depression, you have to come to a certain amount of acceptance about it, because like I've said in my other videos, I think there's always a reason for depression, always. I don't just think people get it. Okay, I'm sure there's people watching this video now and disagree with what I'm saying, but I've heard about chemical imbalances and stuff, but I think if you go through enough stress, enough anxiety, enough worry, it will lower the levels of chemicals in your head, whether that's serotonin or some of the other chemicals that are in the brain. I don't think someone wakes up one day and for no reason is depressed. If you're a woman, it could be something deeply troubling like an abortion from the past. It could be absolutely anything. If you're a man, it could be something else, something you feel really, really guilty about. I think as human beings, there's two sides to us, all of us, good and bad. It's the duality of everything, really, of nature, of human beings. It's the opposites, isn't it? The duality. There's the good and the bad. There's hot and cold, black and white, night and day. Everything's got an opposite, and we can all be anything at a given moment in our lives. Even people who have never had depression can get it because of a life event. The mind is such a mystery. It's science does know a lot, but there's also a lot of things that are mysterious. And when it comes to treating depression, medicine is limited in a way. It's antidepressants are prescribed. Sometimes people take alternatives which are herbal, like St. John's wort, which is a herb. Some people say that's okay for mild depression. Some people take antidepressants, and some people say that it works for them. It could be a placebo effect. I'm not going to judge that, because I've taken a few different ones myself, and it's never helped me. Some of them have actually made me worse. But I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to say to you, if you're watching this, you shouldn't take them, or you should take them, or whatever. It's just I think you have to get to the root cause of depression, because you could be taking medication for the next 10-20 years, and I've known of a few people that have, and I wouldn't say they were happy. I think they've still got the problems, and I think it's very hard to do the work, isn't it? Work on yourself. Sometimes it's very, very hard to, depending on what you've been through in your life. Some things are so painful that that you may have been through, that it's like looking for a missing piece of the jigsaw, really, isn't it? You feel that your life's good, but you're missing a few pieces of the jigsaw, or your life might not be good. But you know, like I said in my other videos, sort of a year and a half ago, I went through a very, very bad time, very bad. So I can understand what it feels like. You know, I'm not in your, if you're watching this, I'm not in your shoes. You know, I don't know the life you've had. You know, you could be watching this in America, Australia, China, Russia, anywhere. You know, but I don't know what you've been through, but I can relate to the feeling, and it's just dreadful. You know, I mean, life's pretty good now for me. It's not perfect. I still deal with low moods. I still get those feelings of what is it all about? What's this life about? But in general, I'm a positive person. I am a curious person. I think I always have been. And I think people have a misconception about depression, that they think that how can I put this? They think that everybody is totally sitting around being miserable. Well, obviously that is a part of depression at its worst. But I think, this is just my own opinion, I think that quite a lot of people with depression are actually very enthusiastic people. They want the best. They want the best so much for themselves and for other people, and they're frustrated because maybe they've not achieved what they wanted to achieve, or they can't get over something that's bothering them, like they feel guilty about. And that wins. That side wins. You know, the guilt side. But then there's another side of them that's very, very enthusiastic and would love nothing more than to have an amazing relationship with a man or a woman, or have some children, or have a great career and a job, and they feel so frustrated because they know within them, they know that they've got the potential inside them, and they're finding it hard to bring that out. The potential, they know they've got the potential to be happy in a relationship, but the years go by or months go by and they're not achieving what they know they're capable of achieving, and that is what leads to depression. Because it's frustration, isn't it? It's absolute frustration. It's like, and there's any number of reasons for that frustration. You know, you may have achieved a lot in high school, you may have been to university, you may have a degree, but you may, for whatever reason, have not fulfilled your potential. And everyone's got different things that are important to them in life. To me, it's being in a relationship with someone that I genuinely love. You know, I can get dates. I can, you know, I've met quite a lot of women this last year, but it's finding, for me, what's important is finding someone that I really want to be with, that I've got a connection with, and of course having a career in a way. But career is not that important to me. But I know if you're watching this, that might be the most important thing in your life, that you feel devastated because you've been to university and you haven't got this career that you wanted. But it could, you know, there's any number of reasons why people are depressed. There's any number of reasons. You know, some people have what they call an existential crisis, which is wondering what life's about. You know, they've had loads of experiences in their life, but they're still wondering what is life about. And some people turn to religion, some people join cults, or they get into philosophy looking for answers, and we all are looking for a meaning, I think, in our lives. What is life about? You know, we're on this planet for such a short time. You know, even if you live to be 80 or 90, you know, and I've said that in my other videos as well, but even if we live to be 100, it's still very short. You know, in the scheme of the universe is supposed to have been here for, I don't know, a long time, who knows. But it's nothing, is it? And the best we can do is to find peace of mind, really. And what I have learned is that nobody can really, you can't look to someone else to save you, really. You have to find that within yourself. You have to obviously people can enhance your life. You can be in a great relationship. You can have amazing children, and they can bring you happiness. But you can't think to yourself, well, I must go and meet this amazing woman and she will fix me. Because obviously, if it goes wrong, if your relationship goes wrong, then you're going to be absolutely devastated. And you know, I was devastated, but when my relationship went wrong, because I caused it and stuff, and you know, I've mentioned that in my videos. I wanted to get back with her, and but I wasn't looking for someone to fix me when I met her. It was just, you know. Anyway, I'm kind of waffling on a bit there, but we all, you know, advice is a very easy thing to give, you know, and you know, some of us, you only listen to advice if you want to. At the end of the day, we all do what we want to do, really. You know, you can read all these self-help books, which may be good, or you can have loads of advice, but I've also found that when you're in a certain mood, if you're in a very, very positive mood, it's very easy to kind of give other people advice, and it seems so simple what they should do with regards to depression or whatever. But when you're in the pits of despair and depressed as hell, it just feels like utterly pointless, you know, it really does. But I hope that, you know, I hope that maybe you can get something out of these videos, or, I don't know, I think that the more people talk about depression, the better. I think it's important. I think it's, people shouldn't hold things inside. What have you got to lose by talking to someone? Just talk to someone, you know. What have you got to lose? You know, you've been to rock bottom. You're feeling suicidal. You're feeling, you know, because I know I was desperate. You know, when I was at my worst, I was looking on YouTube. I was looking for, watching loads of videos, anything that could help me. But my concentration was very poor as well. I couldn't kind of read a book. My concentration isn't that great now, but at the time it was appalling. But I could manage to sort of watch videos and watch snippets, and I think it showed me that other people are going through it. Other people are going through hell. I can't say that helped me. I can't say that knowing that made me think, oh, I feel better now because they're going through it. But it gave me an understanding, and I think everything in life is about understanding, really. It's understanding yourself. Know thyself. I think someone famous said, you know, one of these, I don't know who it was, Plato or one of these guys, you know thyself, and I think it's so true. Once you know yourself well and you've got a good sense of who you are, you don't feel insecure then, you don't feel like you have to prove anything to anyone, and you become more attractive to other people, whether that's friendships. You become, if you like yourself and you feel good about yourself. I think so many of us are trying to make ourselves feel better, whether that's through social media and putting pictures on Facebook. I've done it. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I've done it. When I was at my worst, I wanted the world to think I was doing well. I wanted my ex-girlfriend to look at my pictures and maybe miss me, or just think about me, or I wanted her to understand me looking at my photos. I wanted the world to, you know, even though I might have been feeling absolutely shit about myself inside, it was important to put photos on, say, Facebook or something, that people could see that I look good and that. And it's a bit of an ego thing, but when you don't feel good about yourself, you know, you kind of, that's what you do. And when you feel content in who you are, you don't feel like you've got anything to prove. I know this video is getting pretty long, and I'm sat outside in nature with a telephone, and if anyone walks past now, they're going to think, what is that guy doing? But so what, eh? What is the worst that can happen? Seriously, you know. And sometimes I think to myself, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what people think. I'm going to be dead one day, you know. And I don't mean that in a morbid way, but you know, we're all going to be dead, aren't we? So within reason, as long as you're good to people, it doesn't matter what people think, you know. It really doesn't, you know. Your true friends will be there for you. People that matter. You know, you can pick up the phone, you can ring them. Very retro phone that, by the way, early 1980s. But no, but your true friends will be there for you, and people will accept you for yourself. Yeah, really waffling on. So, but I hope that you're going through depression, just keep going. Just keep going. You know. try something different. Try something different, whether that's exercise. I know exercise, I wouldn't have done any exercise when I was depressed, but if you can, gradually, try and do something to change. Even if it means, if you're feeling suicidal, try something to change. Just try something, because people care about you, and you know, you've got to care about yourself as well. We all have things to deal with, don't we? You know, I have, you know, I've had things that still bother me sometimes that I can't change them. You know, I cannot change them, and I just want to be a good person, live a good life, find someone for myself, find, you know, a proper relationship, true love, and just be a good father to my son. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you know, you want all those good things in life, all those good things. No one has an easy time. Everyone goes through hard times. Everyone. We all have, you know, you think someone else has got a better life than you, and maybe they have, but how do you know what's going on in someone's head? You know, how many people have been, you know, have really killed themselves, and everyone's so surprised because they always looked so happy, and you know, they had a nice wife or a girlfriend or whatever, and they commit suicide, and no one would have guessed it, because you don't know what's going on in someone else's head. So we all tend to think everyone's having a fantastic time, but life can be good, you know, it can be good. And thanks for watching this video.